on, my beautiful people? Welcome to Embrace the Journey podcast. I am your host, Alexis Forteza. And on today's episode, I'm super excited. I know I say that for every episode because quite honestly, my guests are low-key bomb. So I get excited. Anywho's, on today's episode, I have the lovely privilege of introducing and having a conversation with Miss Jer'Maine. When I tell you this woman is a beautiful soul, we had a beautiful conversation to the point when we left that conversation, I felt like I could conquer the world and so could she. It was just so fulfilling and so full, and I cannot wait for you guys to hear the rest of this. She's got so many things that she's doing. All of her information is below. Go ahead and support her. She also has a podcast as well. And just, again, I know Jer'Maine, you're going to be watching this or listening to this. Thank you so much for blessing this podcast with your presence and your wisdom, and I cannot wait for you guys to hear the rest of this. So without further ado, let's give a warm welcome to Miss Jer'Maine on Embrace the Journey podcast. All right, ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm welcome to Miss Jer'Maine. How are you?
Doing so good, y'all. Hey.
I love your energy. First of all, thank you for coming on Embrace Journey. I do feel like anyone who I reach out to is because I do see a beautiful thing about your journey and what you talk about and your platform. And your platform, girl, let me just say, I have it here because you do so much, and I need people to realize like what you do is actually bomb. Like, you have your own podcast, one, master life and success coach, master time technique practitioner. You have to break down some of these terms, girl. You are that thing, okay? And I love this EFT, emotional freedom technique coach. When I tell you, I am all about emotions and really driving the importance of expressing them, putting words to them, and not stuffing them down, being on survival mode your whole life. So I love everything about your brand. I know you got merch too. I'm gonna put all the links below so you guys can go listen. See, and I'm talking good merch, like good merch. Okay, so just what do you tell a little bit of the people about your coaching services? And yes, it is about the emotional stuff, but like, what is it that you do differently than say your average life coach?
So what makes me stand out, right? Like that's what it is. So okay. Hi everyone. I'm Jer'Maine. I know sometimes it could get a little confusing when you see my name. You might want to call me Jer'Maine, like Jermaine Jackson, although I would love to be related to them because I love Michael Jackson. He's my favorite person in the whole wide world. Okay, yeah, let me like bring it back. Okay, I'm not related, but I am a junior. I'm not related, but I am a junior. So my dad's name is Jermaine. My name is Jer'Maine. I'm a junior. You know, Black people, we like to give our daughters our dad's the dad's name. I don't know what's up with that. But anyway, I embrace my name. I love my name. And it actually is a part of my brand. So my brand name is Jermination, the brand. And I know everybody knows the term germination already because it's the process of a spore going from a spore. It's a process of a plant going from a spore to an actual plant in a period of dormancy. So I basically just did a little wordplay and I kind of was just like, oh, germination, Jer'Maine, that's perfect. You know, I'm a spore growing into this amazing person, trying to master myself, trying to get to the highest level of self that I can be. And also too, y'all, we have a special guest, my little baby. I love your show because it's all about authenticity, and I was over here breastfeeding. So like
Real life people.
I'm also a mom, y'all. So but I digress. So Jermination, the brand, just basically came from me wanting to grow in life, me wanting to harness the growth mindset potential. And so when I really looked at the way we evolve from babies to adults, it really made me think like, dang, we are really like plants. So as you can see on this is my logo. And so these little things, okay, so this is a seed, of course, and then I have growing brains. So if you see a baby growing inside the womb, you will see a baby, also a fetus, growing this exact same way. So I basically took that process and I applied it to our growing minds, and I put us in the soil, in the dirt, where we can have a good environment, we can be fertile, and then the sun, of course, is the reason why everything grows, that light. So although we're in the darkness, in the ground, in the soil, we also need light. So we need both to exist, So yes, as Alexis said, oh my God, y'all, I do everything. I did go to a coaching program that it was so different that it sparked my attention because it helps me. She taught me how to read the subconscious mind. So when we talk about NLP, I am a master NLP practitioner. NLP stands for neuro linguistic programming. And basically, in the lamest terms, what that means is that I study the basic language of your subconscious mind and how to use it to get the desired results that you want in life. And so basically a lot of the times we are going off of our conscious actions, our logic, but what we don't really utilize a lot of, but we actually, most of this encompasses our mind, is our subconscious. It's 95% of our mind, it's 95% of our everyday lives, but we don't know how to utilize it. So it controls everything from breathing, our hearts. It controls our memories, that the stuff that we have in the back. It thinks in terms of signs and symbols. So when you're thinking about manifestations and affirmations, all of that is being utilized by your subconscious mind. So when you think you're attracted to something, that's because your subconscious mind is at play. It's attracting you to the thing that you're trying to manifest, or that affirmation, belief, emotion, all of that is coming from our subconscious mind, but we're thinking it's coming from our conscious mind, but it's not. So yeah, that's a little bit of what I do. You said something about EFT, emotional freedom techniques. In layman's terms, it's also a technique called tapping. Like if you wanted to use a different term, that's what that is, tapping. So if anybody has ever heard of tapping, is you tap on your boom, 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 boom. That's, it uses the science of acupuncture, and those meridian points on your body. If you know about the chakra system, it's also kind of similar. And you tap on those meridian points in your body while you express what you are really feeling. And you tap on those points and you get that stuff out your body. You get it out your body. You get it out of your body. And then after you get it out of your body, you want to put back in good stuff, affirmations, things that build you back up, fill your cup back up, and you keep on tapping on those points. I like to call it a type of somatic work because it uses your body to basically get better. So yeah, like I do that. My coaching services, it encompasses all of what we just talked about. I have 4 pillars: mindfulness, mindset, momentum, and motivation. So it's very unique to every single person, but those are the basic things that we will go over, or I will be teaching you, or reprogramming your mind to basically live in harmony with itself based on those 4 principles. So yeah, that's me.
Listen, that is awesome. I love your brand. I love how you get into the root. That's what I love, is like sometimes you get these coaches, and the coaching arena sometimes has a bad rap where they're like, oh, you just talk to somebody. I'm like, no, there's some coaches out here that really get to the deep root of the problem to help you become a better person. And that's what I love. What got you into exploring these different methods of healing and, basically getting people to be their best selves? Because I just can't tell you how many people probably are not aware that that they're so messy in here that we got to get that stuff out and put some clean stuff in. So what got you curious into this route?
Okay, so 2017, I moved to Texas with my 2 kids, and I was basically on this, I call it mastering self. I wanted to master everything about myself, and I wanted to master my emotions. I was like, there has to be something I can't pay for coaching. I can't pay for therapy. So there has to be a world where I can help myself and I don't have to
Mm.
wait to pay for someone, right? So then I eventually got into the world of self-help and like the self-help books, the self-help podcast and all of that. And before I actually dove into those things, I was journaling a lot. I don't know, my fellow journalers out there understand me when I say I have so many freaking journals. It's ridiculous. Like I have to put some in my shed because I have so many journals. So I write a lot. I write a lot. I've been writing a lot since I was in 8th grade, probably earlier than that. And that me writing so much like that has pulled me out my myself. Basically, I was able to have an outlet, right? So in 2017 I went to Texas and I basically had this dark night of the soul that a lot of people will talk about, where I was just feeling negative. I was feeling like, what's my purpose? I was feeling like I was questioning God a lot. I was like, what's really going on in this world? I can't be just meant to take care of kids and go to work and come home and build. I literally hated that because in my
Yeah.
life as a little girl, I was a dreamer. I wanted to conquer big things like Martin Luther King. Like I wanted to change and impact the world, and I still do. And so I was like, no, yeah, this ain't it. So I started to figure out how I can help myself. I started reading
Mm.
books. Think Grow Rich was the very probably first book that I read because I was in an MLM business, multi-level marketing business, and they really pushed me to basically try to elevate my life and change my mindset. And in that book, he had a excerpt in the book that we had to recite every single day, and he talked about how belief is literally the basis and key to every single thing that we do. If you don't believe it, you can't achieve it. You literally have to. Emotion is backed by belief. What you feel by everything is backed by belief. So
Yep.
if you don't believe it, you can't get it. So yeah, so boom, boom, boom. I started that and then I just kind of went on, and then I was like, oh man, I'm growing. I'm getting there slowly but surely. And then I came up with my brand. I came up with this logo. Everything was on the back burner. And then one day I was just like, oh yes, I'm ready. So I was searching online, like trying to really find something. And I'm like, oh, then my coach, she just pops up on my timeline just like a manifestation. I'm like, this is perfect. So I was just like, people gotta see this. People gotta know this. People need to know that there's a there's a process that is called the liminal space, and it's a transition, right? I was going from a negative mindset to a growth mindset. But before I fully got to the growth mindset, I was in this middle space right here. I
Mm.
wasn't in a negative mindset. I wasn't in a growth mindset, but I was right here, just lingering. And I was like, what is this space called? It's a transitional space, but I know a lot of people are in this space where they they
Yes.
they are not quite in a past life, and they are away from the past life. They moving away from it, but they just ain't quite yet touched the other side. What's going on? And so that's what I was like, yeah, I need to talk about this. And so slowly but surely, I started getting on Snapchat, randomly just talking about things that I would learn. I got on Facebook and would write long posts about things that I would learn. Instagram, I started as a poet, and I would like make these poems and talk about like emotional things. So if you go down on my Jermination, the brand Instagram page, if you go far enough down, you'll see my poetry. So my Instagram page is literally, it will show you my evolution and how I got up to where I am today, because I never deleted anything. So you'll see that, I really went through the motions. And so I'm a person that wants to impact the world, and I'm here to serve. And it's a really strong passion of mine. I don't care how tired I am. I don't care what it is that's going on in life. You see this little baby right here? She's sitting right here in this interview with me because I didn't have nobody to watch her, but I wasn't about to cancel because I really feel like this stuff is needed, and I want to be able to, be of a service and impact people. So yeah.
Y'all, I know for those who are not watching, she's absolutely adorable. Just saying. No, like, man, girl, first of all, I I'm processing everything you said
Not
because
all right.
nah, I mean it's a lot, but it's needed. And I think that's why when we first connected, I was like, I like her. I'm like, I like her spirit because I'm telling you, when people are we in the same spirit, I'd be like, I know there's something about you that I see in myself. And it's because we care about the deep stuff. I can't tell you how many people are stuck in that transitional space because sometimes I feel like that too. And
Mhm.
it can really have people sleeping on their gifts because of that space. Because they're not in their old life. So they've cut out all their friends, and sometimes they had to probably cut out some family members that weren't good and all these things. But now you can't quite see the milk and honey, but you know you've been told you or promised some milk and honey, but you just can't see it.
Mhm. Mhm.
So what were some things that you did to kind of help you? First, also, before I even forget, I just finished Think and Grow Rich. Girl, why did it take me till I was 33 to read this book?
Hey,
Phenomenal
things,
book.
it's a phenomenal book, but things come when they're needed in your life. Like they come when they're needed.
And you're right, that book, and it's that book is one of those books where you read it once, but you probably gonna read it again because it's just
Oh, I
so
read that
much.
book probably like 5 times, probably more than 5. And I got it
Because
on Audible.
listen, but before the Reese Tisa situation, before that kind of got me, I was listening to Think and Grow Rich. So I got one more chapter left. But you're right, it's about belief. It's about belief because as he's talking through this book, nothing that you want in life, whether it's money, fame, influence, whatever, you got to believe that you're worthy of it. I'm over here because he kept hinting at like, okay, well, the secret's in the book. You just got to listen. So I'm like listening attentively, and I'm like, wait, this is more about a Facebook than anything else.
Hmm.
Because if you ain't got belief, you're not going to step into the rooms and really
Mm-mm.
sell what it is that you're trying to sell people. Because let's be
Mm-mm.
honest, you might have a great idea, but if you walk into a room with investors and you are not confident, they're not going to give you the deal.
Mm-mm.
You almost have to be in the book. I almost had like this moment of like, I almost have to be delusional about
Yes.
myself.
Yes.
I gotta be
Yes.
like, baby, I am the next thing since sliced bread. Yes, I'm
Yeah,
it.
you already giving me goosebumps. Yes. You have to be delusional. You have to be illogical. It has to be one of them things where people are like, you think you really can do that? Yep, and can.
And will give me some time.
And
Give me
will.
some time. And it was mind blowing because I'm thinking there's this formula. I'm like, okay, he's probably gonna give me some formula that I do step
Mm-mm.
1, step 2, step 3. No, baby, it is you gotta have such a belief in you that comes from
Mm-hmm.
a higher place that you're
Yep.
like, oh, ain't nothing that's everything that's mine is coming. Period.
Mm-hmm. You know what comes up
And
for me every time I say that is heart. You got to have heart. Like, yeah, we talk about mindset and it's like you have to have that confidence and stuff, but you got to have the heart. Like, I'm a poet. I love poetry. I do poetry, right? I teach my children, and they came to some of my poetry like events. So I would get in front of them and let them, or I would get on stage in front of them and show them like this is what confidence looks like. This is how you have heart to do something that you love to do. So before I did before I got here, want me to tell you what I used to do? In kindergarten, I was the MC. In church, when I was in church, because I'm not religious anymore, but when I was in church, I was the one reading. I was the one always on the mic. I was the one they was always calling to do like leader things. Same thing, like I'm always on the somebody's mic or something up in front and close and personal. So I had to really think like, dang, like something must be connected to me speaking. I might not be as articulate as the professor or the doctor that came from Harvard, but my passion and me believing in my purpose and my mission and what I was given and why I'm here, that's going to speak for itself. So when we go through like that imposter syndrome and say, well, dang, I'm not good as that, or start comparing ourselves and saying, dang, I'm not good as that person because maybe I'm a little country, or maybe I don't have all of the words, or maybe, I don't have that degree or something like that. No, none of that stuff qualifies you. You know what qualifies you? That passion, your heart, what you believe that you can do. Trust me, you don't even need any of that. They said that hard work beats talent when talent don't even really work hard at anything. So it could be the freaking most talented person in that room, but as long as you continue to work hard, you become the spotlight. You become the one that they seek because you are willing to put in that hard work. You're the one that's going forward. So don't discount yourself. Don't believe that you're not worthy. Believe that you're worthy of what was given to you in your heart. It ain't coming up for you for no reason. That's what I kept thinking. Like, I ain't crying in my room on my own just for anything. I'm crying because this must mean something. I'm crying because something's connected to this, and I don't fully have a good vision, and I might be illogical, and it might not be that clear yet, but better believe that the universe got something in store for me as long as I keep on going down that path. And that's all I'm gonna do. I'm gonna keep on going down that path, and I'm gonna be carried, and before you know it, I'm going down.
Listen,
my bad, I went on a tangent, girl. I went on a tangent.
You good? No, I love it. And this is why the minute I found you, we connected, and I started doing my research on you, I said, oh, it literally, if I'm not even kidding you, it took me 0.5 seconds to be like, she's got something. That's how you know. But you've been sowing the seeds for a long time. This is why I tell people, and I have to remind myself, because there's times I'm human. I'll be like, listen, is anything really working? Because I keep sowing these seeds, but I'm telling you, I've seen a few of my seeds sprout. I said, oh, I got to keep going, because you can't give up, because you can't expect to plant something and expect a tree the next day. It's not realistic. But I bet you this, you keep doing what you need to do, the doors are going to open. And you have to be delusional. You have to be like, nah, I have the best idea for the next whatever, and I know it's going to help people. You can move rooms with your confidence. That's what I believe. Rooms. So, yeah, I mean, but talking about like being delusional and having belief, what in that transitional space where, because I've been there, and it's like, you can't, like, your belief is like, sometimes you have good days, you're like, yes, I believe in myself, and other days you're like, I ain't got it today. How can you help, or what are some tips for people that, all right, you're in that transitional space, what can they do to get out of it, or possibly just get into where they need to go, aka their promised land? Because I know so many people are stuck.
Flow. Sometimes when we are feeling that feeling of like, I'm feeling a funk today. I'm feeling stuck today. And to be honest, I just actually felt that yesterday. You know what I did? I felt it yesterday. You know what I did? I decided to rest. I don't understand why people think that rest is not necessary. We are not robots. We are emotional beings. We have to rest. You have to listen to your body. There is a point in time in life where, yes, sometimes you have to kind of push that, be in grind mode, but give your grind mode a limit. Sometimes you have to rest, right? So my advice would just to be still, be intentional, and rest. And I don't mean just like be in the bed and still be worrying about things, because that's not real rest. Real rest is when you are cutting your mind off from all of the tasks and stuff that you might have to do, and you are being mindful, and you're just being you're being yourself. There literally, if first of all, we have to understand that the world that is created today, all of this technology, the way we live has been created by us. So sometimes it's hard to remove or disconnect or, disassociate ourselves from the world that we've created. But you have to remember that before this world was created, the way we are living in it, we were just beings and we were just living. And sometimes you just need to live and be and don't worry about absolutely nothing. It's called mindfulness. So just take the time to just be still, be mindful, find some music, play some music. I told my daughter one time, she was feeling down. I told her, I say, if you don't go in that room and play you some music, either play music that match your mood or play some music that will uplift you.
Right.
Sometimes, listen, you know how sometimes you feeling like in the rut and you don't want to feel better? Have you ever felt that? Like where it's like, oh, I don't feel like feeling better right now. That's
Right. You
real.
want to be picky. Yeah.
It's
Listen.
now like listen, I don't got the time. I don't want to feel motivated or inspired. That's okay. Guess what? You know what I be doing? I turn on some Mary J. Blige. I'm not gonna cry. Girl, I will turn on all types of sad music to match my mood.
Listen.
And then after I
Hello.
get it out, I'm like, okay, now I'm finna go listen to some line drill, be grateful. I'm finna listen to some stuff that's empowering on my spirit and everything. But it's a process, y'all. It's a process. You do not have to be your highest self tomorrow. It's a process. Like what you said, Alexis. You cannot expect to sow a seed and expect a tree tomorrow. We live in a life where instant gratification. We see it everywhere. It's for baby. We see it everywhere with TikTok. People got short attention spans. You watch a video for 3 seconds and be on to the next. Like instant gratification. This is a microwavable society. We want everything very fast. But nah, like sometimes you just need to brew in that pot for a little bit. Sit down, turn on a favorite TV show, and hey, chill. Take a chill pill.
I love that you said rest. Oh, girl, rest. Let me tell you. And I was having, I have those days still. People think, oh, Alexis, you're so kind and you're so positive, encouraging. And I'm like, best believe I've got days. Sometimes I've got months where I'm like, oh, that month was just bad, you know? And you're so right, because a lot of people don't know how to rest. And I think we are scared. There's a lot of people that are scared of rest because they think that rest is pointless. Oh, I'm falling behind my hustle if I rest. I can tell you this. The times I have truly just been like, I'm going to be in my pajamas all day. We're going to watch some movies. I'm not going to do nothing besides eat and nap. The next day, I'm like, it's like I've been filled. I'm like, okay, now I can go back to my goal. I can chop down that tree now. Now I feel better. But rest is needed. And oh my gosh, I'm so glad that that's what you said. I'm so glad you weren't like, keep hustling. No, rest. And don't feel bad if your rest might take 2-3 days.
Yes.
Don't be putting no timelines on rest. That's what other people do. They be putting timelines like, well, I'm gonna give myself 24 hours. No, you probably need about a week.
Listen. I went on a rest. Okay, let me tell you. So winter, right? The season, winter. What happens in the winter? All of the plants go in dormancy, like they rest. What do bears and squirrels and all of these animals and creatures? What do? They go rest. Why? To preserve their energy. They gotta preserve their energy. So I probably I think 2 years ago, I'm starting to do it every winter now. Almost every winter I slow down and I rest. If I'm not completely cutting off, I'm slowing down, because winter teaches us that it's okay to go dormant. It's okay to just chill out from all of that hustle and stuff that we've doing. And guess what happens? In spring, you get to bloom again. In spring, you get to use your energy all over again. So it's okay. Like, it's okay. I know I have people in my network that feel like if they don't show up, their business don't run. If they don't make the post or create the thing online, then they're going to lose momentum. This is what I go by. If the people are following you and the people are loving you, they are not going anywhere. As far as
Hello.
the momentum, you can build that momentum back up, but your health is like the top thing. You cannot do nothing if you're not healthy. First of all, why would you even? I get in creative ruts if I'm not like if I don't rest. I can't even create a post. I can't even think of what to say to motivate anybody if I don't rest.
Hello. Say it.
Mm, mm.
Especially those of us like both like you and I, our gifts rely on our voice. So if
Yeah.
I'm not gonna post nothing if I'm not getting wisdom. If I ain't got no wisdom to share, to pull that out of when I'm tired, it's like pulling every wisdom tooth without anesthesia. It's like I can't do it. And you're right. And honestly, for the people that are worried about like, oh, well, if I don't post, I'm gonna lose followers, then they weren't your followers to begin with.
Hello. Hello.
Because if
Hello.
your loyalty to me is dictated upon the frequency that you see me post, then you don't care about
Mm,
who I am. You care about what I
mm,
can give you.
mm.
So, whew.
It
And
almost seems
I,
authentic to just create just because. Like to me, when you want a person to give you a message that they're moved from or that is like sparks them. You don't want somebody that's giving you a burnt out message because they just gotta post. Like, no, like creativeness it takes time. Like, child, you can't even think of nothing like creatively every day, all day. So don't expect me to.
I'll be like, listen, and I had to break away from that mindset of like, oh, I gotta post every day. Nah, if I post, I post. And if I find something relevant, like, oh, I got a gem from this situation. Because a lot of times people will create their post off what's going on culturally. And sometimes I ain't
Mm,
got a word. But when I get a word, I'll be like, oh, okay, I'm gonna post that. Cool, cool. And I might not post for the next 2 weeks.
exactly. Mm-hmm.
Because I'd rather give you something that's going to grow in you rather than something that you're going to chew on and spit out.
Spit out one ear after the other. It almost
Like,
feels like you have to be a slave to it. Like I'm not a slave to posting and being creative. Like I'm not about to live my life where I'm sitting around all day like, oh my God, what can I do to impact somebody today? No, impact is not like that. Like I don't have to sit around and be worried about how I'm gonna impact people. like it don't happen like that. That's not authentic. That's not natural.
it's
I don't live like that.
it's not. And whoo, child. I just
Mm,
I love everything you're saying because it needs to be said. It needs because honestly, a lot of influencers, and I can see it right through their eyes, they're exhausted. You're exhausted.
yes. Yes. Yes.
Like you don't even use that face cream. Why are you posting about it?
You use that face cream just this once and you threw it away. Or it collected
And
dust now.
I'll be honest with you, I think and I love it. People are craving real creators. We are done with the overly filtered early 2000s, aesthetic. Of course, those people still gonna post, but if you notice, people are craving authenticity. Like people are
Mm-hmm.
craving like, yo, like, does anybody go through things or are we just posting about going to Cancun and the next, influencer? Like people want real life stuff. So let's give the people what they want because guess what? Not only does it help the people, it helps us as those of us who are gifted to deliver it because now I ain't got to put on a mask.
Exactly.
I
Exactly.
am who I am.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that touches people more.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Gosh, I love everything you're saying. Oh, I'm just like so excited because what you're saying is so true about the rest and going from one season to the next season. And I
Mm-hmm.
have also implemented the whole following the seasons of the earth. We got 4 seasons.
Mm,
1, 2, 3, 4.
yes.
Why are we trying to hustle in all 4? Is nature hustling in all 4?
Nope. Nope.
And winter, you shouldn't be outside anyways. If I went outside and I got sick and I said, yep, I'm going back inside. Yep. That was my cue. Like,
that was my sign.
girl, go inside. It should, because then I feel like winter is almost like, it's almost like God's way of saying, this is your season to prepare.
Ooh,
so that when it does get hot, if I tell you to go left, you're going to be prepared. If I tell you to go right, you're going to be prepared. But if you were sitting in the winter, being all sad, oh, I can't go outside, and you did nothing, don't get mad when it gets hot outside. And I see it all the time. And I see it all the time.
You said sad, right? And that instantly make me think of some people do go through seasonal depression. And
yes.
because and that just and it makes sense why that happens. But it makes me want to challenge the whole idea of seasonal depression, although I do understand that a lot of it is, it's very real. So I don't want to dismiss or invalidate anybody who's going through it. But it also makes me want to like pose a reframe, like maybe it's instead of thinking of it as depression, maybe try to reframe it as this is your dormancy. We can still use a D word from depression to dormancy. Like I'm just lying dormant right now. I feel depressed, but when we think of depressed, like when something is depressed, it's kind of down. But when winter comes, things do go down, like in nature. So figure out ways to make yourself feel okay enough to where you're not like stuck in a mental like spiral downwards. So like when we were talking about EFT earlier, tap those emotions out if you're feeling anything. You can also do stuff in the indoors like yoga, or even and you can do bed yoga. You can listen to meditations. You can go on YouTube and find solfeggios and listen to different types of frequencies. You can change the music that you're listening to so it can help you. There are a lot of people. I am so grateful because there are a lot of people like you, Alexis, and like myself, who are really out there in the world trying to help people and use us as resources, use us as tools, because we're providing you all with content and tools to be able to help you get better, feel better, be your best selves. And a lot of us out here are doing it from the heart, and we're doing it because we really do care. And take that from us, because we're real people. This isn't staged. We're coming here with our mask off. Like, we're coming in here being real. Like, we're letting you know, like, from real. We just told y'all yesterday we weren't feeling cool. Like, we are like real people.
I was in tears yesterday. Literally, just crying.
Literally. Girl, first of all, on one of my podcast episodes, I was telling one of my guests, I was like, I went to Starbucks. Mind you, got Starbucks cup right here. But I went to Starbucks, and girl, how come I was crying in the drive-thru? Child, why was I crying in these people drive-thru? I was ordering my drink like, can I please have a venti? Like, can't even buster up the dang on words. Like, that's embarrassing. To the point to where she gave me my drink for free. She felt so sad. I was like, oh my God.
Hey, them tears were useful. I mean, it's real though. Like, I was like, and this is me being very, very open. I was crying because I was having feelings and I have to put words to them. I'm like, okay, something's on the surface. I can feel it. What is it? And as I was crying, I was like, okay, I'm having just a day. I feel lonely. I feel overwhelmed. I had to let it out, because I was like, I don't let it, if it's right here, I'd be like, I gotta cry. I'm a crier. People like, oh, you're just so, we never see you cry. I'm like, you never gonna see me cry. I cry in private, baby. Okay. But look, I cried. I got up this morning. I was like, no, all right, it's a new day, because it's part of the process of letting what you sow grow. You gotta put, and honestly, there are gonna be tears in the process. If you don't cry, tell me how. I'd love to know. I would love to know, because to me, the tears are what water my seed.
Oh, we want to say We on the same vibration, child. Listen, we just said the same thing. Let those tears water your garden.
Period. And that's why every time I do cry, I'm letting myself be human. And I'm also realizing as I'm getting more attuned to my spirit, I said, oh, something must be coming. Because I'm watering something. I'm feeling these things for a reason. I'm expanding. And a lot of times I think, and I got this revelation as I was crying. I said, ooh, I think I'm being stretched and I'm nervous. Like, and my flesh is like, wait, girl, wait, what's going on? You got so much to go. And it's my spirit saying, hey, girl, when you leveling up? But my flesh is like, I'm nervous a little bit. I haven't been here before. I feel lonely going to the top because the top is lonely. And I don't say that in an arrogant sense, an arrogant sense. It's just when you do the kind of work that you and I do, it can feel lonely. It can feel like, yo, like I'm out here in the war and it's like nobody's listening. So that's, hey, you cried at Starbucks. I mean, you know how many times I would leave work on my lunch break and just cry in my car and be like, all right, we got to get this together. I got to go back into work.
Crying is healthy.
It is. And I wish we would normalize, and not just for women, but for men too. It's okay to cry.
It really
like,
is.
I always said, I don't have any kids, but the day if I'm blessed with kids, especially if I'm blessed with a boy, one of my life goals is to make sure that I always reinforce to him, it is okay to cry. Because my big area of concern that I know has been placed on my life is relationships of all kinds. But definitely the ones between a man and a woman. And I'm just like, y'all got to heal, man. We got to start getting these tears out. We got to start putting words to these feelings, because what happened when you were 2 years old is showing up and you 35.
Literally. And I like how you said earlier about like self-awareness. You mentioned that some point in the beginning about self-awareness. And that's one of the things that I talk about as well. Like, a lot of the times when we are showing up in these relationships with platonic and intimate, we aren't even self-aware of some of the things that are triggering us. We aren't even self-aware of some of the things that how we're being to the other person. And so empathy is probably one of my biggest superpowers, because I am highly sensitive. There's a real term for it. I'm a HSP, a highly sensitive person. And I have my empathy is my superpower. And so I have the ability to put myself in somebody else's shoes and really try and really understand where they're coming from, and I can remove myself in that moment and be that other person as best as possible. And so that comes with a level of self-awareness, and it also comes with a level of self-awareness to be accountable. And people don't like to be accountable. Accountability, you might as well, is like poison, like, to people. It's like, don't tell somebody that they're doing bad. Don't tell a good person that they're doing bad either. Like, people who feel like they're good people feel like that they can't be accountable, or like they didn't do anything wrong because they're a good person. No, you're a good person and you mess up and you do things to offend someone, mainly, and you might not do it intentionally. You might do it unintentionally, but unintentionally you caused harm, and you have to be accountable to that. And we have to also understand that we are in a world operating with different characters. Alexis, you're a different character than I am. I'm in your world right now, but you're also in my world, so it's just like, we have to respect that, and respect that we all come with different values, beliefs, childhood experiences, and love languages, and we have to figure out how to make the puzzle piece fit in life, because I'm a firm believer that we are all puzzle pieces of a big picture. It could be a million pieces. First of all, I would never put together a million piece puzzle. That's
me
one
either.
thing. That's God's job. That's God's job.
Get somebody else to do it.
That's God to do that. The universe. That's the universe's job to put that puzzle together. I'm just scattered these pieces all over the earth.
Right. Just I'm gonna make sure my piece is good. Okay, got you.
I'm gonna make sure my piece ain't soggy, like you know how them
Or
puzzle
the
pieces.
edges are bent a little bit,
Yeah. And if
I'm
I
being a
am
nice
be
little
like,
puzzle piece. Hi.
when you get done, have you ever taped your puzzle to the wall or like to the door?
Oh, I have not done a puzzle that big, to be honest.
For real,
No.
when we were little, my stepmom, after we got done with our puzzles, she used to tape them up to our door, like in our rooms. Yep, she used to tape our puzzles to the wall, and was like, oh, it was kind of like a sign of completion or success.
Listen, some of those puzzles, I think I was overwhelmed by the pieces that I said, yep, I'm not getting to that. Kind of like Legos. I was just like, this is too much. This is too much.
You listen, a Lego table, child. You got to get a Lego table in order to put some Legos together. I told my boyfriend, I was like, we ain't putting no Legos together because he loves Legos. Don't get no Legos unless you get a Lego table.
See, because then what happens is they get on the floor, and then if I've stepped on Legos, and let me tell you, all of my gentleness goes out the window because I'm like, who didn't pick up? It's painful, man. Painful.
Hey, kind people have aggressive, hard days too.
Hey, and listen, let me tell you, like, what I keep saying this phrase to one of my friends. I'm like, people don't realize how much I am withholding, because I said being kind is, I have confirmed, is one of my gifts, because I realized some people just aren't kind. It's a natural thing for me. I said, but kindness is not weakness. I save so many people from that dark side of me, the dark side of like, I'm gonna tell you a little bit about yourself, because I have her. She's there. I just don't operate from there because my self-awareness is like, this ain't worth it. And that's why I said, sure.
Because you just said that made me think. Have you, and I try to ask everybody this because I have a hard time with it. How do you not, can I cuss? Or no, like, is this?
You could do whatever you want to say, girl. It's okay.
How do you not give a fuck? Like, what makes you not give a, like, how do you not care? Because as a caring person, and I've heard so many people say, like, you just choose what to care about. But in me, I'm like, I don't know how to not care. And I'm trying to figure out, where does that come from?
That's a lovely question. It's like, how do you not give zero? Like, literally zero. It's been a process for me. Because I tell people I'm a former people pleaser. So my level of, is everybody good, was unhealthy. I know. See, she crying because she understands. It's people pleasing, ain't it, girl?
Y'all got a glimpse of a lyricist's personality just that moment. I'm sorry.
You good. I will say it comes from when I have my moments of like, you know what, I just can't care. It comes from, it's not that I don't care. I just can't be that person's savior. Because sometimes I realized my caring for people was this underlying, I wanted to be their savior. And I wanted to be the person that was like, yep, I get credit for caring about you. When that's not really love. Love is, I can care for you, but I can also hold tension for the fact that I can't save you. You gotta want to save yourself. And it's hard because I can feel my inner wannabe savior, come on, girl, help them. And I'm just like, no, if I'm meant to help that person, they'll come back. And if they don't come back, then I hope that life, God, the universe, whatever they want to say, keeps them safe. If I truly have to let go of my care of somebody, my only prayer is that I'm like, just take care of them. That's it. But it is a process.
That just made me, that probably was the best answer I think I've ever gotten. Like, that makes so much sense. Like, it's the feeling of being a martyr, like thinking that you can save everybody or care about everybody. And then especially like being in this field, in this work that we're doing, We do
Yes.
want to help everybody and rescue people and take everybody with us, but it's just not possible. And sometimes we want people to grow before they're ready to grow, and it's almost like a disservice to them, and because they're just not in that place yet. You don't want somebody to grow before they're ready. And so I like how you said they'll come back around, and if they don't, I just hope that God, the universe, takes care of them. Like, that's so loving. That's so loving. Like, you operate in love for real, because that's amazing. That's amazing. You're a
Thank you.
lovely person. You're a very lovely person.
Thank you. And, and,
Welcome.
and it it's hard. It's a level of love that is hard. Who is hard? And that's how I know people don't understand. They're like, I don't understand how another, if they don't ask me how I give 0 Fs, they'll ask me, how do you keep your boundaries so, because I'm the queen of boundaries. And I said, because I said, I am in the business. I said, my boss, aka who I work for, is not my real boss at work. It is God. So with that, I gotta be really careful on how I spread myself thin. I said, and I just in my conversations with God, it's like I can't hold on to everybody, because if I hold on to the people that don't want any help, I have no
Yes.
room now to help the people that need me.
Ooh.
So I almost have to have my hands open, right? Just open and be like, oh, they jumped off ship. Okay, well, I hate that. That hurts me, but just protect them. So now
Yes.
the people I need to help and the people that are ready, because you said they got to be ready. That is the one. If you are not ready for it, any words that people like us say to people, it bounces off. What do you mean I need to heal? Yeah, you're a little rude. You're a little rude. It's a little rude. Or people who project. And I'll tell you this, because of our line of work, I'm pretty sure you have this experience too, where you hear really deeply what people say and don't say. Like, and people are weirded out by that. They're like, Alexis, I didn't say that. I said, but you did say it. You just didn't say it. And then when people find out my gift, they're like, oh, I ain't talking to her. And it's those people that I realize they're not ready.
They run away from you. They run away from you. It's like almost like you can see them. Like, you can see the deep. Yes, like, people don't want you to see who they no. They're like, heck,
Girl, let me tell you. And for anyone who listens to this, who is in this realm or is walking into this, please know that if you truly have a gift of seeing people, both good and bad, so the totality of a person, a lot of people have never experienced that kind of love and care and will look at you like you crazy. And they'll run away from you. And I know it's so easy to be like, dang, what did I do? Did I do something wrong? Like, why ain't nobody like me? Like, what? It's because they've never been seen. And sometimes, I'll be honest with you, I've had that happen. I still have had that happen till to this day. And I have to check my own confidence. I'm like, ooh, I'm human. That kind of hurts though. Like, cause I'm here for good intentions, but people who are ready to be seen, they're like, okay, she sees me. Let me go talk to her, because I can tell she's not going to hurt me. But there are those the ones that are, I don't know, I'm pretty sure you've probably met these kinds where they are so not ready to be seen that they almost like want to fight you in a way.
Be like, why would you want to fight me? What
And
did
I'm
I
like this,
do?
why are you so mean? All I said was good morning. Why are you so cheerful? Why are you so cheerful? Like, I can almost see spirits on people and I'm just like, oh, honey.
You would think that it's crazy that people do not like you for your light. It's like, I'm a light. Like, I'm a happy person. Like, how could you not like the light? But some people are in darkness. And some people want those blinds closed. Some people want to live in that dark house and they don't want no blinds open. And if you give them light, they're gonna be like, it burns.
or God forbid you go into the house and turn on one switch. Why'd you turn the switch on? Because it's dark in here and I
Dark
don't
in
like.
here. Dark in here, and I don't like it.
I'll be honest. I think one of the hardest things out of anything I've spiritually prepared for and kind of knew, for some reason, it took me a long time to realize, like, wait, people don't like the light? That's wild to
Mhm,
me. But
mhm.
it's such a thing, girl. I've walked into rooms, and I'm pretty sure you've walked into rooms too, where you don't say a word, you take your seat, and you can sense, like, oh, I don't think they don't like me. Got it. But that doesn't mean that you run out of the room, though. You
Nope.
stay there,
Mhm.
and you don't turn off
That's
your light. I'm guilty of turning off my light.
self-awareness. That's that self-awareness. That's that, oh, yeah. But then you know what you're supposed to do. You know how you give pieces of your life. You give like just small pieces, or just don't say much at all. Like if you're kind of like gotta be in that room, or maybe if it's family or in-laws or something like that, and you just got to be there, it's just kind of like you maybe don't give them all of it, but you just kind of give them a little teaser, or just don't say
That's
nothing.
and that takes a skill too, because sometimes as light givers, and when we're immature in our gift, we want to just
Mm,
shine. It's like just it's like a
yeah.
dimmer, a dim switch. Some rooms can handle it full blast. Some
Yes.
rooms can only handle it at 10%. Know
I
which
love
rooms,
yes.
because sometimes the 10% might look like you just sitting in the room.
Yes. I love how you said that. That's perfect. I'm gonna use that. I
Go
love that.
ahead. I am the
Well,
queen
not
of
you,
analogies, honey.
but you do a good job at that. Like I'm saying, I'm gonna use that like in my like consciously. Like I'm gonna think about that every like when I walk into rooms and stuff, and like realize like, okay, Alexis said that I have a dimmer. Like I need to dim. Like I gotta adjust this. So I'm gonna
Because
keep that in
sometimes,
my.
yeah, it's not a switch, because a switch will turn my light off.
Oh, it's not a switch. It's a what's it called? A knob.
It's a dimmer, like a little dim switch, like a little. That's what we call them, dimmers.
I
Like,
know it's what you're talking about. Yeah. Okay then.
because if you notice, the level or the percentage that you want your light in the room, it changes the mood of the room.
Yes.
It can be a sultry mood, it can be a
Mhm.
relaxed mood, or if you want it full blown because you want to see everything. It's very powerful, because I've been guilty of, okay, well, they don't like my light, let me turn it off.
Mm.
Now they can't see. I was, and God forbid my assignment was to be a light in there. I'd be
Mm.
like, well, I didn't do the assignment because I was intimidated by them
Mm.
because they didn't like me. When in reality, it's like,
Mm.
no, you just had to be a little bit less, not turn it off, but just a little bit less.
Mm. Love it. That just gave me goosebumps. That just gave me goosebumps. I love that. I love that.
So, because I've been
Mhm.
guilty, and then I'm like, dang, I should have just said. For me, sometimes I can be really quiet. So me turning off my light is not saying a word. And I've had
Mm.
moments where I've left rooms, meetings, dinners with friends, and I'm like, man, I should have said what I needed to say, because now
Mhm.
I'm getting convicted. Like, dang, I
Yep.
should have said that.
Mhm.
No.
Dang. I feel that. Yes. That's amazing. That's amazing. For everybody that's listening, if you ain't feel led by that, that didn't spark you, I don't know. Whew, that spoke something to me right there. I like
That
that.
that was, and it's not easy, and I know you're gonna be scared at times, like, oh, I don't want to walk into this room, or you might be confused, like, I don't even fit in. But
Mm,
a lot of rooms are filled with the same people, and sometimes it takes one oddball to wake
mm-hmm.
that room up. Like, wait a
Yeah.
second,
Mm-hmm.
she don't look like she should be in here. I'm
Mm-hmm.
here
Hello.
because I'm in that season where I can almost, and maybe that's probably why I was crying, because I can feel my spirit expanding. But I'm sitting
Mm.
here in my flesh, like, I don't know if those rooms are for me, but they
Yeah.
are. I
Mm.
just got to step in. But right back to the Think and Grow Rich, I got to be delusional, honey. I
Mm-hmm.
belong here.
I belong here. And even if it's like that, I necessarily don't belong here. I'm here for a reason right now. There must be. I'm placed here for a reason.
For a reason.
Even though I don't belong, something is needed in this moment, in this room, that only I can give, or that only I can be a witness to. So I love that. Yeah, that's amazing. Oh my God.
We just over here preaching. Listen, I be
Connect with the people. Like, it really is. Like, it's so important to connect with people who are doing that work, because sometimes it can, like what you said earlier, it can get kind of lonely, and you think that, you're the only one doing this work, but we are so far, like, we're like 15, 16, 20 hours away from each other, and we are connecting on some of the same things, and we're doing some of the same work. So for anybody like listening, this just really goes to show that life is bigger than the house that you're in, than the community that you're in. There are people that might not be in your immediate surroundings that are for you, that are on that same path as you. You just have to go out and explore. And I love the name of your podcast being called Embrace the Journey, because that's really what it is. I named my daughter Journey, not a lyricist. This is a lyricist. I named my daughter 9-year-old. She's 9. I named her Journey because I was going on a journey in my life, and I knew that it was purpose, or she was destined for great things along her own journey. So I love that you call this like Embrace the Journey, because realize that throughout the process of you germinating, you planting seeds, you growing, going through the storms, hanging on by a thread or a branch at it sometimes, it's going to be all a part of your story that you tell one day. It's going to be something that gives some type of revelation, or it's going to spark something in someone else who's living through the exact same thing. So understand that your growth is connected to the storm, your growth is connected to the darkness, your growth is connected to the journey that you are on. And it's so important to embrace the journey, embrace the process, and keep on moving. And the times where you feel like you do not want to move anymore, like I said earlier, be still, listen to your intuition, discern when you need rest, and just continue to connect with like-minded individuals, because you have to create an inner environment and an external environment of love, of growth, and surround yourself with people who are pouring into themselves and also into others. So like live your best life. And sometimes that just means pouring into yourself and doing what's necessary to make sure that, before you leave this earth, that you have done some form of elevation, whether it was 1%, 2%, 3%, whatever. Do what's best and necessary for you. Embrace your journey. Don't give up. Believe that you can do it, because you absolutely can. We're doing it. There was a times where we didn't know what to do with a podcast. We didn't know how to speak in front of people. We didn't even know how we probably wanted to get this done. We had to plan. We had to be moved by the Spirit. We had to do so many things to get to where we are today. And some of the things that you're looking at right now is like 4 or 5 years in the making, but this is the maybe couple of what we've been doing this for maybe 2 weeks or 2 months, but it's been 5 years in the making, behind the scenes, the things that you don't see. So realize, like, your life is necessary. You are necessary. Embrace the journey, and just like what I love to say on my podcast is keep on growing. Keep on growing.
And that's on period. I have nothing else to add besides that. Hello. Again,
Hello.
thank you so much, Jer'Maine. I mean, this was actually out of every conversation I have with people, I feel so filled. So thank you. You dropped gems, and I love it. I love that we were able to connect. I love everything about you and your platforms. I am going to put everything in the link below, or in the description below. Please support her and people that are like us, the light workers, right? We can call ourselves light workers, baby. Okay. because we really do want to see change. And sometimes we get overlooked, or people don't think that we really are what we say what we are. But you are listening to two people who are really out here in the mud of this stuff. Plowing, honey, plowing. So thank you so much for being a part of this, Jermination. I loved you. And until next time, everybody, because hopefully there'll be a next time. I love when my guests return, honey. Let me tell you. That's it. Embrace, like she said, embrace the journey. And like you said, what? Keep on growing?
Yes.
Period.
Keep on growing.
Look, she fell asleep. That's because, that's the word. The word was so good that she went to sleep. You seek peace, honey. This episode has an anointing of peace about it, okay? That's all I gotta say, y'all.
All right, y'all. Peace out.
Bye.
Bye.